So in today's video, we're going to be looking at our Killer Banana Titan and the build that I have going along with it and why I think it's one of the best mobbing builds in all of Destiny 2. So if you guys need a good Titan build to be using over the next 2 weeks, getting prepped for Witch Queen, definitely give this a go. And also make sure you try this with Void 3.0 because it's only going to get stronger with that rework. Otherwise, with this build, you guys are going to be spamming your abilities. I've had up to 3 grenades on the ground at the same time. In certain scenarios, it's disgusting how much you can spam your abilities. Also, the weapons you can use with this build are incredibly flexible as well, so you are free to fit it to whatever activity you are doing. But before we jump in, if you guys want to see more Destiny 2 builds, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We're going to have a ton more with the release of Witch Queen here in a couple weeks. Let's go ahead and start taking a look at this build. So the exotic that we're going to be running with this Titan setup is Heart of Inmost Light. This is, in my opinion, one of the best Titan exotics in all of Destiny 2 at this point. It's crazy for ability spam builds. You can use all of your abilities pretty much non-stop. And then also your grenades and melees will do increased damage as well. So it's just perfect for pretty much any piece of content in Destiny. Now, most people I've seen using Heart of Inmost Light have usually been using this with a Solar or Stasis Titan, but with Middle Tree Sentinel, it is absolutely disgusting what you can do with the Void Detonators and just spamming all of your abilities. Any sort of group of mobs is just going to get instantly nuked with like 1 grenade or 1 melee. It's pretty darn nasty. So combining those Void Detonators with a Void Wall grenade, this thing, in my opinion, is the best one that you can use because it has the shortest cooldown and also it stays on the ground for a long period of time, letting you hit a lot of different enemies. Now, with the suppression changes coming with Void 3.0, that is also something that we're going to be able to use. It is a slightly longer base cooldown, but you'll still be able to spam it a lot. So feel free to swap between the Void Wall and the Suppressor Grenade, depending on what you're doing here in Witch Queen. Then otherwise, I like to run the Rally Barricade just because it has a slightly shorter base cooldown, just so I can spam it more and keep my ×2 empowered on my melee and grenade. But feel free to swap it to the Towering Barricade if you guys want a little bit more protection. It's just going to be a slightly longer base cooldown. So now taking a look at our armor mods, we're going to be looking at the helmet first. We're going to be running dual Ashes to Assets. You guys are going to be able to get your super so fast with this, and that is also a fantastic mobbing option and also can help you with some single target damage as well. So I really do like running 2 of these. And then otherwise, we're going to be running Bountiful Wells so we can get more wells off of the different creation sources that we have for wells. And then on our gauntlets, we're going to be running Elemental Ordnance so we can get Void Elemental Wells when we get grenade kills. With the Void Wall grenade, if it lasts on the ground and enemies keep running into it, you can actually get a couple sets of the Void Wells to spawn off of just 1 grenade. So I really do like the Void Wall grenade for that. But otherwise, either of the grenades, you guys are going to be getting your Void Wells, which is going to help all of your ability regens and also give you Phantom Might. Now, when I'm doing low tier content, I'll just run a grenade kickstart so I can spam the abilities a little bit more. Otherwise, feel free to swap this out for more champion mods depending on what you're doing in endgame content. And then on our Heart of Inmost Light, I just like to run Phantom Might so I can get the increased damage for my Void weapons. Now, if you guys do not want to run Void weapons that much with this setup, feel free to swap this out for Explosive Well Maker. So that way, any explosive kills you guys get, you can get the extra Solar Well, and then you guys can get your grenades back quicker. And then on our boots, I like to run Explosive Well Maker just so we can get the Solar Elemental Wells for the grenade regen. And then, like I said, if you want to double up with the Heart of Inmost Light, you guys can get 3 Solar Wells per creation source, so that is very, very nice. Otherwise, in the middle slots, I like to run Innervation and then Absolution for more cooldowns. Finally, on our class item, I like to run Well of Ordnance. This is going to be the use for our Solar Wells, even though we're running a Void subclass. This is going to allow you guys to get a ton of grenade energy when you pick up those Solar Wells. Otherwise, this season, I'm running Focusing Lens in case enemies are affected by stasis, by my teammates, or anything like that. And then I like to run Bombers because we're going to be spamming our Barricade a ton, and it's really going to help our grenade cooldowns. But feel free to swap these around depending on whatever season it is and whatever artifact mods are available. But like I said, this build has a ton of flexibility when it comes to our weapons. One of my favorite loadouts is the Deafening Whisper. This thing I pretty much run all the time with this setup because it is amazing. You can shoot it on the ground before your barricade and have the wave actually travel through the barricade, and you guys can hit enemies from safety. Also, it's going to spawn the Solar Wells with Explosive Well Maker, so that is very helpful for getting your grenade back in case your grenade itself doesn't spawn enough for you to just get it right back. And then otherwise, when I'm running Font of Might, I'll run the Royal Entry just because it's a really good burst DPS option and it works very well with our Font of Might. And then I do like to run an exotic up here in our kinetic slot, usually one with an intrinsic champion mod. So I'll usually run like Arbalest or Bastion, depending on what type of champions there are. Otherwise, you can run like Izanagi's Burden, but it's completely up to you what setup you run. Really, the only weapon that I recommend all the time is Deafening Whisper. This thing is amazing. I really do like my Lead from Gold Unrelenting roll because it allows me to use it as my primary weapon for a lot longer and also be a lot more aggressive. Just get in there and I can get health back by killing a lot of enemies. So let's go ahead and take a look at this build in action, exactly how I play it. Basically, just try to find the biggest groups of enemies you can with your grenade, and you can see how many different wells you'll get just by getting a couple kills with it. And already we have our grenade back. We don't even have ×2 empowered grenade because we didn't cast our barricade. But as you can see, the void detonators just go insane. They're going to heal you, give you more grenade energy, so you can just keep chaining over and over. This build is just all about chaining, all about just using the abilities to as many times as you possibly can with them, and just look and see how much abilities we are getting with this setup. And as you guys can see, when we're shooting the Deafening Whisper, we are also getting a bunch of solar wells in the process. So that is very, very nice for our grenade regen. And as you guys can see back there, that's where our Deafening Whisper ended up spawning our different solar wells. And it's just a non-stop process. You can just keep doing this throughout the entire piece of content that you are doing, and it's just disgusting. And we already pretty much have our super. One more kill and we're gonna have it. So right there. So in that regards as well, it's a part of the spamming with this build, and it's just absolutely disgusting what you can do in terms of the ability spam. And on top of it all, we get a bunch of void elemental wells, so you guys can just spam your void heavies or whatever void DPS weapon that you guys have, and you'll just be nuking all of your champions, bosses, whatever. Does not matter. You will just end up nuking them. But yeah, this Titan build has a ton of strengths, mobbing being its forefront strength. This thing just clears huge amounts of enemies. It's what I'm going to be running when I do the legendary campaign in Witch Queen. If you guys have seen the trailers with just like how many Thrall can spawn at times, this build is going to just nuke all of that in just one button press, which is going to be amazing. I think it's going to be incredibly helpful for doing a bunch of stuff in Witch Queen. But if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure you are subscribed so you can catch more of these build videos here in the future. Also, make sure to go down in the description, click on the link over to Twitch, and also join up on the Discord so you can have people to play with. But thank you guys so much for watching this far in the video, and I'll catch you all in the next one. See ya.